about Buddha said life is um, a pain or life is a struggle. He
Hmm.
said other stuff too, but maybe I'm just like taking it out of context.
Right? Life is suffering, is what you said.
Yeah. And so, can you? I guess it doesn't have to be. I mean, I hope not. But Buddha's pretty cool too. So, can you explain what?
Yes, yes. So Prince Siddhartha is one of our guides. You know him as the Buddha. We know him as Prince Siddhartha. And we want you to understand that the prevailing wisdom 2,500 years ago, when Buddha was alive, was very different than the wisdom and the understanding that is available now. The Buddha also went on to say, what is the cause of suffering? Do you know what the cause of suffering is?
You asking me?
Yes. I'm asking anybody. Do you know what the cause of suffering is? Phil, anybody who knows can answer.
Thinking.
Thinking, correct. The cause of suffering is thought. So from what we said a few minutes ago, when you're in alignment with your soul, you feel good, you feel wonderful, you feel happy, you're allowing the energy to flow, and you're in alignment, and your thoughts are in sync with the thoughts of your soul. Now, suffering sounds very much to us like not being in alignment and wanting things to be different than they are. And instead of focusing our thoughts and instead of shifting our focus to focus on the solution, we stand there with our hands on our hips, demanding that reality change to the way we want it. Instead of moving our energy over, getting in alignment, and allowing it to change. Now, we have been taught to give our power away. So most people have no idea. So remember, we said that it's imperative, and we don't like that. So we're going to say that it's very important that everybody realizes that they create their own reality. So when you don't understand that you create your own reality and you're just vomiting thoughts out all over the place because you are highly intelligent thinking machines, you've trained yourself to think very, very quickly, can you see how, and again, we don't like but it's the only word we can use here, can you see how uncontrolled thoughts can lead to suffering?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. So when we teach the young ones that they have the ability to choose their thoughts and to choose their thoughts by the way it feels, because when it feels good, it's alignment, and when it doesn't feel good, it's misalignment, and none of that is wrong. We're not saying that misalignment is wrong. We're saying that it's simply, that's the way it is, and you have the ability to choose to come back into alignment or not, then that changes. Now, what did the Buddha mean? Why would he say that life is about suffering? Because he understood that we are all each on our own path, and we are all each finding our own way to return to our divinity. Now, our favorite quote, which falls in line with this, is, "We're all here walking each other home." Well, part of the game that we all agreed to come here and play is to see how far into density we could go before we started pulling ourselves out, and what is the journey of pulling yourself out. Now, if we got here and everything was wonderful and fine and there was no contrast, then there'd be no reason to pull ourselves out. So he was saying the prevailing energy at the time, where people were much more controlled and manipulated. Well, no, that's not true, because they're equally as controlled and manipulated now. The thing was, back then they were more aware of it, whereas here people are not as aware of the fact that they're being controlled and manipulated. So it's not that life is suffering, it's the suffering actually causes the questioning, causes the asking, causes the focus, causes the how come, causes, because a part of this is you have to ask. So is it good or bad? Yes. But once you understand that you have a choice, then it moves from there. The Buddha also spent most of his life, once he understood enlightenment, teaching everybody enlightenment and teaching them how to move out of suffering. Teaching them to choose their thoughts. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Did that answer your question?
I think so. Hope I can remember. Sometimes they go in my head and then they come out, but I think
well,
so.
on a vibrational level, you receive the answer fully. So within your soul, you know the answer.
I'll take it. Yay.
Can you why don't you give a specific example of changing? It's just basically changing from, bad, I'm mad at you, to I love you, right?
Yes.
I hate you, to I love you.
Right. Well, it's
I'm suffering when I say I hate you.
Yes. Yes.
So if I can change and get into I love you,
right,
then I'm in alignment.
Correct. Correct. But this is where it gets a little tricky. It's not me that you hate, it's yourself. And that's where it gets tricky, because something that I did triggered something inside of you. Remember, we've talked about the mirror, and everything is a mirror. So everything is being reflected back to you. Everything that you're sending out is being reflected back to you. So if I do something that you hate, that's within you. And I'm simply reflecting it back to you. And it's easier. So it's not outside in. It's inside out, always. And your world teaches you outside in. He did that. They did that. They're wrong. They're bad. Well, no, they're not. They're just doing whatever it is they're doing, which you're a match to, and you don't like it. Because it's something within you that you don't like. So the first appeasement is forgiveness, but you're actually forgiving yourself. And the second appeasement is love, but you're actually turning love back to yourself. By looking at what you love in the other person, what are the positive aspects about the other person, that brings you back into alignment with your soul. That brings you back to the co-creation with your soul. Remember, there's nothing good nor bad. It's simply what you're deciding it is. You've been indoctrinated, we've all been indoctrinated to believe that this, and this is bad behavior, and this, and this is good behavior. And if you're doing this, you're good, and if you're doing this, you're bad. And that's very restricting and very controlling. When you remember that I have this thought, and if it's enough of an energy form to cause an emotional feeling within inside of me, that is letting me know, am I in alignment or am I not in alignment? And then, do I care that I'm not in alignment? And that's where the suffering comes in, because most people don't know that they're not in alignment and don't care. They think that life is hard. They think that life is suffering. They think it's struggle. There's all kinds of we don't like to say the word rewards, but there are all kinds of rewards for struggling, you know, and people get statues made for them, and they get medals, and they get all kinds of, you know, for struggling. So we've been taught that there's brownie points in struggling, that there's, you know, that there's something good from struggling, and we guarantee you there is not. We want you to remember that stress, suffering, comes from deciding exactly how it has to be instead of allowing it to unfold. Good. We are feeling complete. Is there anything else?
Just thank you so much.
So, we always end with the guides want you to know what?
That you're worthy.
That you're worthy. Yes, you are. Much love, light and love to all of you. Thank you for being here, and we will see you again soon, we're sure.
Sure hope so. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.